Shalom, shalom, family. What's going on? What's going on with y'all, man? What's going on with you? I hope everybody doing well. Hope everybody doing well. And definitely gonna jump back into this, man. I hope everybody been hitting me up. Shalom, everybody. Everybody been hitting me up for, when I'm gonna do part 3. I was supposed to come on this afternoon, but I had some things come up, had to take care of some things. So we are here this evening and we are steady rolling. Definitely big shout out to everybody, man, who been hitting me up saying that the lesson has really been a blessing of understanding in the Hebrew community as well as the Christian community, giving some clarity of the purpose and the intent of the tithe. Shalom, Brother Chuck, the purpose and the intent of the tithe. And so I think that that's very important for us to understand historically what the purpose is. And so we can go from there. And so I'm definitely excited about some things, about a lot of things that's going on. And so definitely awesome. And so we're going to be getting into some things today. I hope part 2 definitely really bless y'all, man. I'm going to give everybody time to jump on here so they can get a in-depth understanding what's going on. Many who go to B.O.O.M, we already practice a lot of these things, what we teaching. So y'all already know that's why we do what we do and provide for the homeless and trying to set up a situation for the widows and things of that nature. So we already doing what required to do, instructed to us. And so I think everybody else is trying to get some understanding of these things. And so, we go from there, man. So I'm going to give it a minute here. We're going to be dealing with money in the temple. All right. Money in the temple. So we need to see, go into scripture and see, was there money in the temple, or was there just fruits and vegetables in the temple? All right. So y'all know me, man. I try to be as thorough as possible, making sure that brothers and sisters are edified with the scriptures. And so we get a clear understanding of what's going on. So I'm going to give it a minute. I know people not used to me coming on around this time, and I haven't been doing any lives a lot lately, but definitely this has been something that's very important to be bringing out. And so brothers and sisters can get understanding of the scripts and know what's going on historically. I think that's the best part for us to understand historically what's going on. So we can be taught properly and make sure that things are brought out correctly and with understanding. All right. So thank y'all for tuning in once again, man. It's going to be awesome. We can get a breakdown of clarity here and things like that. So I definitely appreciate it. Again, I know everybody's still jumping in and tuning in. People just got out of work, things like that. So give it a little minute and we're going to go from there. All right. So a big shout out to everybody. Thank y'all for tuning in here. Hope the signal is clear. If the signal is clear, let me know if it's clear. If I'm clear on your end, if you can hear me, if you can see me, things of that nature. So we can get into it and go from there. All right. Thank y'all for tuning in. This is part 3. And hopefully we can just end it on here. I don't want to do 4 parts of this thing, but I have a lot of information to where I can do, like 6 videos, but I'm not planning on doing that. I think everybody pretty much got the gist of it between the first 2 videos, but I do need to cover if there was any type of tangible money or anything like that is being exchanged within the temple for certain duties and things like that for the community, for the congregation, or for the people of Israel. When it came down to dealing with the priests in the temple and things like that, I think that's very important that we get a thorough understanding of that, and we go from there. So As a recap, those of y'all who just now tuning in, if you haven't seen part 1 and part 2, as a recap, we covered in part 1, we just laid some foundation historically about what the tithe was for and whatnot. We laid that foundation in part 1 to get an understanding of what the tithe was for, things of that nature. In part number 2, we went even deeper to bring forth clarity and understanding. There were 3 different tithes and what those tithes were for. We had tithe, when it came down to the Levites. There's a tithe also in Israel for the widows. There was a tithe also for the orphans. We also established that tithe wasn't just fruits and vegetables. Within part 2 of the video, we broke down and showed that with even including the tithe, there was all of your increase, including specifically livestock and stuff like that. And also we even went into even further detail into looking and to see that there were people in Israel who did have coins or money or whatnot in the terminology of what you call shekels and things like that. We established that. We know that the Most High told Israel not to mingle or deal with any other nation outside of those who accepted the covenant. And so we know that in order for them to travel to the place that which the Most High would put his name on and where we would meet for feast days and whatnot, or when it came time for remissions of sin, if it was too much to carry, or if it was too far for you when it came down to carrying your increase to give your tithe, that the Most High said, go and sell it and get the money. So right there we see already that there was money in Israel. Get the money and then also go to the city, and then you can also buy it back, or whatever you decide to do with that money, it's up to you. And that's what we saw within part 2 of this lesson. Now, part 3 of this lesson is to just establish the fact that there was transactions going on within the temple, which we can go into the New Testament again. And we talked about during the time of the feast when they were selling and buying when they should have been preparing for the feast. And they were doing these things in the temple. So we already know that people were selling and buying. There was money and currency exchange going on within the temple during that time, even during the time of Hamashiach. So we understand that if there was some form of transactions going on, we also know that there was a transaction that took place for Judas to betray Hamashiach through the council, through Sanhedrin council, through the Pharisees, and through the Sadducees, those who were priests or those who were had responsibilities in the temple that was a part of this council. They gave a currency exchange, which means they had to have money, okay? And so they gave this currency exchange to Judas in exchange for his betrayal against Hamashiach. So we know that there was currency in the temple, okay, or there was currency that the priests had. Right? So hopefully my screen don't freeze up. But there was a form of currency that the priests also had, okay? So we have to understand when we start talking about tithe, when we have to start talking about currency, when we have to start talking about these things, we have to understand that there was more than just fruits, vegetables, and livestock, okay, going on within the temple, all right? So it's very important that we understand historically, and we cannot read these things on the surface, and we cannot teach the scriptures from a personal perspective, okay? This particular lesson I told you in part 1, part 2, and part 3, this is not about whether you go pay tithes or not, okay? This is about understanding historically what was going on during the time. That's right, brother Frederick. Many don't take into that account that the currency that the Pharisees and the Sadducees partnered up gave Judas was a currency. It was coin. There was money going on within the temple, okay, during that time. And in order for you to sell and buy and do all of these things, there has to be money exchange going on within the temple. Okay. All right. And there were livestock in the temple, because we know that during the time of the livestock in the temple, Hamashiach went in there and started turning over tables and throwing over the money changers and all of these things in the temple. Now, how is it could this money currency go on in the temple and the rabbis not stop it unless they were involved in the money exchanging in the temple? Okay, so that's a whole nother conversation that we'll get into if we end up doing a part 4 to this. But I want us to maintain a part 3 in this and just bringing out and showing and presenting facts that there was currency in the temple. Okay, we've already established the fruits and vegetables. We already established the livestock. We already established why or the purpose for the tithe. We already established that for the orphans. We already established that the priests that took care of the temple, they didn't have an inheritance. They didn't have land. They didn't have a portion given to them. So therefore, it was the people's responsibility for providing for the priests. Also for providing for the people of the Most High who was less fortunate. So this is the reason for the tithe. Now, let me explain something to y'all, beloved. Here's the thing. Let me show you a prime example in the reason why a lot of us lack in today's age, because we don't have a system set up to take care of brothers and sisters who are less fortunate. We don't have a system structure set up because, one, we don't believe in it. And two, here's the thing. The purpose for the tithe was to make sure that if there was a widow, if there was an orphan, if there was someone in lack, that those particular people, all right, am I clear? Am my screen going in and out? Does it look kind of fuzzy or something? Because I see the numbers keep fluctuating. So I want to make sure that I'm clear. All right, so y'all can, okay, I think I should be clear. All right, I think I see some hearts. All right. The reason why in today's age in which we live, one, people don't believe in the system, okay, for various reasons. People could have been abused. People could have been mistreated, or they've been upset because their money was taken advantage of or whatever. But beloved, that's no excuse, because throughout Israel, throughout ancient Israel, there have always been crooks in the temple. But there's always been good people in the temple too. There's always good regular citizens of Israel, and there's always been crooked citizens of Israel. There's always been a Hamashiach, and there's always been a Barabbas throughout the course of history. Okay, so that's no excuse to come up with the reason why we don't maintain a system. Let me show you a prime example of how we don't have a system. Here is a prime example. The same brothers and sisters that speak against a system that provide for the community are the same brothers and sisters are asking people to help them bury their husbands, bury their children, and bury everyone else. These are the same people that say they need help because their lights are cut off, because they lost their job. Beloved, you cannot come to Israel if, one, you don't believe in the system. You can't come asking for help because no one has anything for you. Why? Because we don't have a system in place. Because half of the people don't believe in it. The thing is, during ancient times, during antiquity with our forefathers, they had this system set up. And if someone was in need, they could go, or the people saw the need and met the need. But if you don't believe in the system, you can't turn around and come and say, hey, my husband didn't have insurance, and all of a sudden he passed away. And now all of a sudden his passing, you want to put an obligation on Israel as a nation to come bury your father, to come bury your spouse, to come bury your child, when you were the same one that didn't believe in. If you don't put into a system, you get nothing out of a system. That right there is common practical sense. Because when you come and ask Israel for assistance, basically what you're saying is, would you tithe into me? That's what you're saying. Would you tithe into my situation because I have no means of finances to fix the problem? I'm in need, I'm in lack. And the tithing system in ancient Israel was set up for those who were in need and those who lacked. But in today's age, we teach and speak against these things. And these things are set up purposely to make sure that brothers and sisters' needs are provided for to help them get from one position to the next position, or to help them get from one place to the next. You may need help for 3 or 4 months. And if there's a system in place, brothers and sisters can do. We can't even appoint anybody to be over it, because half the folks in Israel, 80% of the folks in Israel, don't even believe in the system. If your lights are cut off, I cannot pay your light bill with fruits and vegetables or chickens or livestock. I can't do that in the modern day and age in which we live. That doesn't work. So we have to use sense to understand what's going on. Now, we're going to go in Numbers. We're going to look at Numbers, and so we can establish there was a currency in the temple based off a situation or whatever situations occurred that required currency exchange or flowing of currency within the temple between the priest and a commoner. So let's go into Numbers. We'll go to Numbers, and we're going to deal with this. All right? Now we know Moshe was given these things, so let's look at it. Numbers chapter 18. We're going to start at verse number 1 because I want to walk this thing down so we can get a thorough and complete understanding of what's being talked about. All right. Now there's a balance here. Now there may be one particular person within your community that may have a lack and need food. Now you can inject the tithe of fruits and vegetables and livestock. Because this person the tithe was based off the need. Everyone's needs are different and was different in ancient Israel during antiquity. So if there's a person that lacks food in the house and they have children, then the community steps in, headed by the priest, looks at the lack, and say, okay, this person needs groceries. They're refrigerated. They don't have no food. They're hungry. Now fruits and vegetables is implemented. Livestock such as ground beef and all these things in the modern day age in which we live, these things are implemented into effect for that particular person that is lacking within the community. Now, one other person said, hey, listen, I lost my job. I need gas money. I lost my job. I need my light bill paid. Now, the community, along with the priest whose obligation is to distribute properly, now the priest can say, this person doesn't need fruits and vegetables. This person needs financial support to make sure that their lights are on so that they can cook food, because they're not lacking in food, they're lacking in electricity. So they need their light bill paid to make sure that their food can be cooked that's in their house. This is how this system is supposed to be instituted. It's such a fine running machine to where it doesn't matter who is in place. It should run by itself. If everybody bring what they have, bring their tenth, put it within the community, and you have priests who are in the community to see the need, take care of the situation, everybody eats. It doesn't matter who in place as the priest. This system is so thorough that it can run on its own. But the system gets clogged up and it starts getting zigzaggly and wiggly and all kind of things when the people get off course. Not the priest. Because the priest can't force you to give anything. It has to be in you to give. People give willfully. I don't care if it's fruits, vegetables, money, whatever. You give willfully. You have common sense enough to know. So you understand this is the system. I'm not going to look at the priest. I'm not going to be worried about what the priest's doing. I'm going to make sure that I do my part as instructed in Deuteronomy 14 so that way we can go ahead and make sure the community thrives. But the people have to be on course and can't get off course. Now, again, the tithe can be fruits, vegetables. It can be livestock or it can be money. All right? But now let's deal with this from this perspective of dealing with numbers. Okay? Go into the book of Numbers, chapter number 18, and we're going to start at verse number 1. And we're going to read. And the Lord said unto Aaron, thou and thy sons and thy father's house with thee shall bear the iniquity of the sanctuary. Listen to what he says. Listen to this very carefully. He's giving them their assignment. He's given Aaron and his sons their assignment. He says, you and your sons and your father's house with thee shall bear the iniquity of the sanctuary, and thou and thy sons shall bear the iniquity of your priesthood. So he's already establishing what their jobs are. You're not going to work in the field. You're not going to work on nobody's job. Your job and your assignment is to take care of the temple 24/7. That is your assignment. Your assignment is to take care of the temple 24/7. Not to work in the field, not to be doing all these other things. But this is your assignment, Aaron. Now let's look at this. Verse number two of Numbers 18. Look at what it says. And thy brethren also of the tribe of Levi, the tribe of thy father, bring thou with thee that they may be joined unto thee and minister unto thee, but thou and thy sons with thee shall minister before the tabernacle of witness. Verse number 3. And they shall keep thy charge and the charge of all the tabernacle. Only they shall not come nigh the vessels of the sanctuary. So listen to what he said. He's being specific. Just because you work in the temple, everybody has an assignment to do in the temple. Your assignment may not be to teach. Your assignment may be to usher, watch the door, be security. Your job in the temple may be to make sure that certain things are taken care of. Make sure, hey, listen, hey, the light bulb go out. We need somebody to make sure the lights are running in there. Make sure the AC is working right. All these different things are going on. Everybody in the temple assignment isn't to teach in the temple. Okay? Look at what it says here. Verse number 3. He's giving specific jobs within the temple to do because they are going to be taking care of the temple 24/7. He says, come nigh to the vessels of the sanctuary and the altar, that neither they nor you also die. Look what it says. Verse number 4. And they shall be joined unto thee, and keep the charge of the tabernacle of the congregation. For all the service of the tabernacle, and a stranger shall not come nigh unto you. And ye shall keep the charge of the sanctuary, and the charge of the altar, that there be no wrath any more upon the children of Israel. So this is their assignment, to make sure that they take care of the temple, whether it's sacrifice, all these things that are going on. They have to make sure that they are doing these things diligently and on purpose, with purpose, being obedient, so nobody don't die. Because now, as a priest, people, the Most High have put people in your care, in your hands, to make sure they aren't abused, to make sure they aren't mistreated, to make sure that their needs are met spiritually, and all of these things. So you have a great assignment to make sure that when people come to you for prayer, people come to you for whatever the situation is, you have to make sure that you are so thoroughly involved within the service of the temple to where people have your accessibility should be at an all-time high. The people should be able to access you. Okay? This is what he's saying. Verse number 6. And I behold, I have taken your brethren, the Levites, from among the children of Israel. To you they are given as a gift for the Lord, to do the service of the tabernacle of the congregation. Verse number 7 of Numbers 18. Therefore thou and thy sons with thee shall keep your priest's office for everything of the altar and within the veil. And ye shall serve, I have given your priest's office unto you as a service of gift. So the Lord says, hey priest, this is not a burden to you. We can't take on the mindset of, now that we become pastors, teachers, mores, and leaders over the congregation, we can't view it as a burden when the people demands come. So he's already, before he hires them, he's already given them their occupation. He's given them their job description and everything. He's letting them know, like, listen, okay, you're going to be a supervisor. It's going to be a whole lot of people going to come to you. It's going to be a whole lot of stuff. You cannot look at this as being a burden to you, but you view this as a gift. Because I didn't give you property. I didn't give you land. I didn't give you all these things. What I did was I gave you a great gift to be priests in the temple, to make sure that you meet the needs of the people. Okay? Verse number 7. I have given your priest's office unto you as a service of gift. And the stranger that cometh nigh shall be put to death. Verse number 8. And the Lord spake unto Aaron, behold, I also have given thee the charge of my heave offering, of all the hallowed things of the children of Israel. Unto thee have I given them by reason of the anointing, and to thy sons by the ordinances forever. Now listen, let's stop right here. We're going to part right here. Let's deal with this. He said in verse number 8, behold, I also have given thee the charge of my heave offering. What is that? What is a heave offering? Let me give you an example of what a heave offering is. You ever see during the basketball games, you see LeBron James go to the scores table, he gets some powder, put it in his hand, and he heaves it. That's a heave offering. The Most High asked for a heave offering. Now, many of you will say, oh, that's that Christian stuff. That's Christianity. No, the Most High asked for a heave offering. A heave offering. The same way LeBron James throw the powder up in the air, that's a heave offering. The Most High demanded that and requested that, and that was required of the priest to do that. Now, he may not be educated in that. He may not know what he's doing. But the Most High started that. He started heave offerings. And so he told the priest, when you in the temple, I want you to give me a heave offering. This was an instruction. Let's keep reading. Verse number 8. And the Lord spake unto Aaron, behold, I have given thee the charge of my heave offering. Of all the hallowed things of the children of Israel unto thee, I have given them by reason of the anointing and thy sons by the ordinances forever. This shall be thine of the most high things. This heave offering is of the most high. Reserved from the fire, every oblation of theirs, every meat offering thereof of theirs, and every sin offering of theirs, and every trespass offering of theirs, which they shall render unto me, shall be most holy for thee and for thy sons. Verse number 10. In the most holy place shalt thou eat it. Every male shall eat it. It shall be holy unto thee. Excuse me. And this is thine, the heave offering of their gift, with all wave offerings of the children of Israel. You ever been in church and you heard the person that was singing, that was leading worship, and you heard them say, let's give the Lord a wave offering? See, y'all think that's that Christian stuff. That's how I know people don't read their Bible, man. The Most High required and requested of the priest to give him a wave offering. Y'all, see, you're really about to find out some things. That everything that you deemed as Christianity and Christian, you're going to find out all this stuff in the Bible. The Most High had Israel doing this first. He had Israel doing this first. He said, a heave offering. Sometimes you see those who are doing the whole gospel dance, worship dance. You see them doing heave offerings and all kind of doing their dancing. You see people doing praise and worship. The worship leader say, let's give the Most High a wave offering. Everybody get to doing like this. Now, if you ain't read your Bible and you're an Israelite and you go into a Christian church and you see them doing this kind of stuff, I ain't doing that stuff. I'm not doing that stuff. Man, they had me in there talking about a wave offering. That ain't in the Bible. It is right in the Bible. Told the priest to give him a wave offering. Let's keep reading. Look what it says. It says right here in verse number 11. And this is thine, the heave offering of their gift, with all the wave offerings of the children of Israel. I have given them unto thee, and to thy sons, and to thy daughters with thee, by a statute forever. Everyone that is clean in thy house shall eat of it. All the best of the oil, and all the best of the wine. Now, we saw this as a tithe. All right, we saw that in Deuteronomy 14, where it was talking about the wine offering was a tithe. It was also talking about the oil offering was a tithe. And of the wheat. We know that the wheat was also a part of the tithe in Deuteronomy 14. The first fruits, we thought that talked about dealing with being a tithe. Okay? Of them which they shall offer unto the Lord, them have I given thee. And whatsoever the first ripe in the land, which they shall bring unto the Lord, shall be thine. Every one that is clean in thy house shall eat of it. So the Most High is saying, listen, okay, I am reading from Numbers 18, and we are, read the whole chapter, Numbers 18, but right now we are, you can start from verse 8, and we're all the way down to, right now, we're at verse number 13. All right, verse number 13. All right. 8 through 13, you could deal with the heave offering and the wave offering. All right. But let's look at this right here. So the Most High is telling them, listen, when Israel bring all of these first fruit, their first fruits of all the things that they're bringing to you, you're going to partake of the best of it. This is what he's telling the priest. Because the people's responsibility was to take care of the priest. Because the priest didn't have no inheritance. Their whole job was to take care of the temple. Okay? That was their whole job. And so the Most High is telling them right now that when they bring these things, that you are to have whatever it is, whether it's fruit, vegetables, all this type of stuff, meat, different oxen, different type of livestock, all of these things that they will bring, okay, because you have to eat in your house too. All right? So let's look at this. Verse number 13. And whatsoever the first right in the land which they shall bring unto the Lord shall be thine. Everyone that is clean in thy house shall eat of it. Everything devoted in Israel shall be thine. Everything. Let's look at this now. I want y'all to check this out. Listen to the wording. Okay? Now he just ran down certain things that they will bring. Cattle, fruits, corn, vegetables, these things like that. But then he also says in the next line, he said everything in verse 14. That means everything. Not some things, not just limited to fruit and vegetables, not just limited to livestock, everything. Verse number 14, devoted in Israel shall be yours. Everything. And we know Israel had a currency going in there. We know that Israel had a currency. We know the priest couldn't work. We know the priest couldn't till the ground. So everything that Israel had, everything the 11 tribes had, it belonged also, a portion of it belonged to the priests because they couldn't work, because they couldn't till the ground. So the Most High tell them, say, listen, I'm going to make sure that you eat and your family eat. Because you're not just going to eat and your family is going to miss out. So when the people, whatever, everything that they bring, it's going to be yours and your families. But not just limited to fruits and vegetables and livestock, but everything in Israel, no matter what it is. Everything. Okay? Now let's look at this right here. Verse number 14. Everything devoted in Israel shall be thine. Everything that openeth the matrix in all flesh. Yes, that word matrix is there. Which they bring unto the Lord. Whether it be of men. Wait, hold on. Stop. Let's go back. What is of man? Can somebody answer? Can somebody answer that? It sure ain't talking about bringing an arm for you to eat. It sure ain't talking about eating people. So what does man produce, or what can man present? Because we already know that within the next line, he's going to tell you beasts. He's already told you fruits and vegetables. So what else can man offer besides fruits and vegetables and livestock? I mean, can somebody put it up on the screen? I mean, this is common sense. Listen to what it says. We're going to start at verse number 15 again, the top of 15. Look what it says. I'm sorry, we're going to start at verse number 14. Everything devoted in Israel shall be thine. He's talking to the priest. Everything devoted in Israel shall be yours. Everything. Verse 15. Everything that openeth the matrix in all flesh, which they bring unto the Lord, whether it be of men. What is everything of men? Gold, money. Hold on. Let's stop. When Hamashiach was born, did they bring fruits and vegetables? Can somebody please? What did they bring? They brought things of men. Is what they brought to Hamashiach when he was born. They brought things of men. Frankincense and myrrh. These are things of men. When Hamashiach spoke and told the brothers, when they started talking about paying taxes, what did he say? He said, render unto Caesar what is Caesar. Those are things of men. The coinage to pay taxes, that is of man. That is of man. The coin to pay taxes is of men. He didn't say, hey, look, y'all disciples, now y'all got to pay these taxes. Now y'all go on down there and go and get some cabbage. Go on down there and get some squash. I need y'all to go get some collard greens. Y'all go get some corn. And I need y'all to run over across town over there. And I need y'all to take that down to the tax office. No. He said, where the money at? Show me where that money at. Let me get that money right there. You see this? Who face on this money? Okay. Give unto men what belongs to men and render unto Yah what belongs to Yah. There's a difference between those things of men. There's a difference between things of animals. And there's also a difference between things of the Most High. And he's telling you right here. But we act like our mind go blank because of our personal preferences and the agenda we want to push. And it's plain as day. These folks understood this back then. Let's read, look what it says. Verse 14. Everything devoted in Israel shall be thine. He's talking to the priest. Everything that openeth the matrix in all flesh, which they bring unto the Lord, whether it be of men or beast, shall be thine. Everything that they bring you of man shall be yours. Everything that, whether it be a beast, shall be yours too. You shall get a percentage of the beast. If they're making earnings, whatever earnings that they're making on their job, a portion that is yours because you don't have no job. Your job is to take care of the temple. This is what was going on in ancient Israel. And the people weren't worried about what was going on. They weren't worried about what was going on. What you got, Kim? You got an NIV over there or something? Let's look what it says. Okay? Yes, I have the KJV I'm reading from. But when I get down to this particular portion, I'm going to pull out a couple of different translations so you can see this. All right? Let's look what it says. Of men or of beasts, verse number 15, shall be thine. Nevertheless, the firstborn of man shalt thou surely redeem. And the firstling of unclean beasts shalt thou redeem. All right. Look what it says. Verse number 16. Here it is. Check this out. He's going to tell them, here goes some money in the temple. And those that are to be redeemed from a month old shalt you redeem according to thy estimation for the money of 5 shekels. Huh? What's going on here? Somebody giving the priest some money? Is there currency going on in the temple right now? Or is there currency going on before there's a temple built? Because what they're doing right now and the instructions that they're giving right now, these same instructions have to be fulfilled and done when the temple is built. Ain't no temple right now, but instructions are being given so they can be prepared so when the temple does come into existence, that they can also function based off the ordinances and the commandments given by Yah of what to do in the temple. Now, I'm going to deal with this because I got a couple of translations here. I got a couple of them. I got a CEV. I got a doggone 1611. I got all kind of other doggone translations here. Hold on. Let me show you. Let me see something right here. Let me pull this up right here. Now, I ain't got no NIV because that scripture might not even be in there. Okay. I got a CJB. I got a Christian. I got the complete Jewish Bible translation. I got the doggone Christian Standard Bible. I got the Amplified. We're going to go ahead and it's going to say the same thing. Okay? Let's look at it right here. In verse number 16. And those that are to be redeemed from a month old shalt thou redeem, according to thine estimation, for the money of 5 shekels after the shekel of the sanctuary. You mean to tell me the temple got some money? After the temple, after who? After the estimation of what? After the shekels of what? After the shekels of what? Come on now. We're in Numbers we're in Numbers 18 and we're in verse number 16. Numbers 18 and 16. And those that are to be redeemed from month old shalt thou redeem according to thy estimation, for the money of 5 shekels after the shekel of the sanctuary, after the shekel of the sanctuary, which is 20 gerahs, or goras, or however you want to pronounce it. Now, we're going to go into the contemporary English version. Okay? And we're going to go into Numbers. And we're going to look at a couple of translations for this particular verse, so we can cover all corners and see do they say the same thing. 18 and 16. Okay. 18 and 16. Here it is right here. The price for a firstborn son who is at the least 1 month old will have 5 pieces of silver. 5 pieces of silver. I told you, some money in the, they had money in the temple. Okay. Weighed according to the official standard. Okay. So weighed, all right, according to the official standard. The official standard is the official standard of the temple. All right. So there was currency going on. Now, that's for the CEV. Let's go into the 1611 and let's see what that says. All right. And those that are to be redeemed from a month old shalt thou redeem according to thine estimation, for the money of 5 shekels after the shekel of the sanctuary, which is 20 gerahs. 1611. Read it in the KJV. Let's read it in the Complete Jewish Bible, which is one of my favorite. The sum to be paid for redeeming anyone a month old or over is to be 5 shekels of silver, as you value it using the sanctuary shekel, the sanctuary shekel, the church shekel, the assembly shekel, the congregation shekel, however, whichever you want to use, this money going on in the temple. Okay. And the priests are the ones going through an exchanging process of this money. And this is for redeeming. This is also a part of the offering and also a part of the system when it deals with tithe. Okay. Let's go to the next. Let's go to the Christian Standard Bible and let's see, does it say the same thing? All right. Al-Tav scripture says, absolutely, sis. That's Sefer. Definitely. All right. And it's not going to change because this is this is the instruction that Yah gave to the priests for the temple. Meaning it's money in the temple. It was money always in the temple. Okay. Let's deal with this. You will pay the redemption price from a month-old male according to your assessment, 5 shekels of silver by the standard sanctuary shekel. 20, all right, which is 20 gerahs. In Numbers, we are still in the wilderness and still talking about money. That's right, Deacon Riddick. We in the wilderness, man. Ain't no temple. And the Most High still talk about money going on in the temple. Come on, man. Because he's preparing them for how to handle his business for the community when the temple comes. He always prepared the people before it comes. He's always prepared the people before it comes. The same, no different than he told Noah before the storm came. He always prepared the people before it comes. So in this case, he's already preparing them and get their mind together and they're self-situated before there is any form of money. Okay? I mean, before there's any form of temple being built. There was always a conversation dealing with fruits, vegetables, livestock, and money. Silver, shekels, okay? All of these things going on in the temple. All right? Now, let's go to the Amplified version. So we done had the CJB, the Complete Jewish Bible. We had the Christian Standard Bible. We done had our sister on here give it from the Sefer, okay? We dealing with the Amplified. I done read it out of 1611, and I done read it out of Standard KJV, and it says the same thing. That is money in the temple. All right? Money going on and exchanging of money. And we can go all the way to the New Testament and see the exchanging of money going on in the temple. Okay? So there was always a currency there. All right? But let's keep rolling here. Let's deal with the Amplified. And their redemption price from a month old ye shall redeem according to your valuation for the fixed price of 5 shekels in silver, in accordance with the shekel of the sanctuary. Boom. Now we can move on. Let's keep reading. All right, now that we dealt with that. Verse number 17 of Numbers chapter number 18. But the firstling of a cow, or the firstling of a sheep, or the firstling of a goat, thou shalt not redeem. They are holy. Thou shalt sprinkle their blood upon the altar, and shall burn their fat for an offering made by fire, for a sweet savor unto the Lord. And the flesh of them shall be thine, as the wave breast, and the right shoulder of thine. All the heave offerings, like you see LeBron James throwing up the powder in the air, that's a heave offering, okay? Of the holy thing, which of the children of Israel offer unto the Lord have I given thee, and thy sons and thy daughters with thee by a statute forever. It is a covenant of salt forever before the Lord unto thee, and thy seed with thee. Verse 20. And the Lord spake unto Aaron, thou shalt have no inheritance in their land, neither shalt thou have any part among them. I am thy part and thine inheritance among the children of Israel. So he's telling them, listen, y'all can't have no livestock. Y'all can't have no land. Y'all can't have nothing. I'm going to provide for you through the people. That's what he told the priest. Now, you ain't got to like it, but that's what the Most High say. You got a problem with it? Go to the Most High and tell him you got a problem with it said. That's what the Bible said, okay? And you ain't got to, this is hard to twist. You can't twist this. It's self-explanatory what it says. Okay, let's keep reading. Look what it says. Verse number 21. And behold, I have given the children of Levi all the 10th in Israel for them. What did he say? He said, I have given the children of Levi all the 10th. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's money. I don't care if it's fruits, vegetables, livestock, a house, a car, whatever it is. He's telling me, listen, I don't care if it's horses, all, not just some, not limited to certain portions. No, he says, Behold, I have given the children of Levi all the tenth in Israel for an inheritance, for their service, which they serve, even the service of the tabernacle of the congregation. Neither must the children of Israel henceforth come nigh the tabernacle of the congregation, lest they bear sin and die. But the Levites shall do the service of the tabernacle of the congregation, and they shall bear their iniquity. They shall bear the people's iniquity. Okay. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations, that among the children of Israel they have no inheritance, but the tithes of the children of Israel, which they offer as a heave offering unto the Lord, I have given to the Levites to inherit. Therefore I have said unto them, among the children of Israel they shall have no inheritance. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Thus speak unto the Levites, and say unto them, when ye take of the children of Israel the tithes, which I have given you from them for their inheritance, then ye shall offer up a heave offering of it for the Lord, even a 10th part of the tithe. And this your heave offering shall be reckoned unto you as though it were the corn of the threshing floor, as though it was the corn of the threshing floor, and as the fullness of the winepress. Thus ye also shall offer a heave offering unto the Lord of all your tithes, which ye receive of the children of Israel. So this is what the Most High said. The Most High said, the children of Israel, they're going to bring a 10th. But here's what I want you to do. When they bring their 10th, they're going to provide for you. But because I provided for you through them, even you, what they give you, you got to give me a 10th of what they gave you. So you're not exempt as the priest to give in either. You're not exempt as the priest to tithe. Okay, let's get that understood. So let's not sit up here and be like, oh, well, the people. Yeah, the people too. But guess what? The Most High say, you as a priest, I'm going to bless you through the people. But don't get it twisted. And don't think that you don't have to follow no instructions too. They going to give a 10th and you going to give a 10th. You're going to give me a portion of what they gave you because I the one gave it to you anyway through the people. Let's keep reading. Look what it says. It says here, thus ye also shall offer a heave offering unto the Lord all your tithes, which ye receive of the children of Israel, and ye shall give thereof the Lord's heave offering to Aaron the priest. Okay? So Aaron was in authority over these particular group of Levite priests. Okay? So they had to tithe into Aaron. Okay? They had to tithe into Aaron. The people tithed into them, and they tithed into Aaron. Because Aaron was the authority over them. Okay? Look at what it says. Verse number 29. Out of all your gifts, ye shall offer every heave offering of the Lord, of all the best thereof, even the hallowed part thereof out of it. Therefore thou shalt say unto them, when ye have heaved the best thereof from it, then it shall be counted unto the Levites as the increase of the threshing floor, and as the increase of the winepress. And ye shall eat it in every place, ye and your household, for it is your reward for your service in the tabernacle of the congregation. And ye shall bear no sin by reason of it. The Most High said, you receiving this is not sinful. So if anybody want to throw that stuff at you, talking about, oh, you don't need to be giving nothing to the homeless. You don't need to be giving nothing to the widow. You don't need to be giving nothing to the orphan. You don't need to give nothing to the priest. That's wicked. That's this, that. Take them right to this scripture. It says it right here clear as day. It says it right here clear as day. He told the priest, listen, and see, I'm that type of person where there are people who try to give me, nah, man, nah. So this cut me too. Because I don't want to be so like people who've abused people to the point where I've turned away money. No, man, no, don't worry about it, man. Bless you, man. I come for free. I come for free. I pay for my own trip. I pay for my own hotel. I pay for all this. Most of y'all know, y'all done been around, y'all know people done try to give me something. Nah, man, don't worry about it. No. And now that I look at the Most High, because I didn't want to be so like other people that abuse people to the point to where I'm in error. Because of the fact that if the Most High put it on somebody's heart to give, I ain't asked them to give, but they decide they want to give me something, whether it's pay for my dinner, whether it's pay for my lunch, whether it's put something in my hand, whatever it is, no matter whatever it is, I got to, nah, man, I'm good, man. Bless you, man. I think, man, I'm not here. This ain't why I do this, man. This ain't why I do this. And now that I look at like, man, the Most High touching people to give to you and you pushing it away. It's not like you manipulating people, telling them to give something, or tell them they're not going to be blessed if they don't get on, or tell them they're going to be cursed. I ain't saying none of that. People just willfully come up and, hey, listen, da-da-da. There's plenty of times. Nah, man, I'm good, man. Bless you, man. Look what he says. He says in verse number 31, and ye shall eat it in every place, ye and your household, for it is your reward for your service in the tabernacle of the congregation. And ye shall bear no sin by reason of it. When ye have heaved from it the best of it, neither shall ye pollute the holy thing of the children of Israel, lest ye die. Brothers and sisters, we're going to end right there. Matter of fact, I'm going to read. You know what? I'm not going to even worry about it. I'm not going to even worry about it. I was going to go into another scripture. I'm just leaving it at that. Let the Most High, take and use this and help people as best as possible. I don't even think it's a need for a part 4. I think we kind of covered everything in these first 3. It's several other scriptures we can go into all the way to the New Testament. And I kind of touched on some of the New Testament things, but I don't think it's a need for it to even go any further. I think that we got an understanding of what the system and the purpose of it is for. We got an understanding of, many of us have an understanding of the obligation of why we do what we do. My thing is, man, again, this is not something that's telling you, hey, you better go do it. Man, it's up to you. You know what I'm saying? It's up to you. You do whatever you want to do. But I think it's very important for us to understand biblically and historically what the purpose of the tithe is for. Okay? What the purpose of it is for. Are there crooks out here? Are there people that's pimping people? Yes. Yes, there is. But I can take you through the scriptures and show you there was people doing it then. And the children of Israel didn't bat an eye, and they still was given. And the Most High dealt with the priests about robbing him. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, this is why he said in that last verse, if you do something to cross me, and you make this be a curse to Israel, I'm going to deal with you. I'm going to deal with you. He's always kept his word with dealing with folks who was crooks, dealing with folks who was liars, dealing with folks who was thieves, all of these different things, man. So, man, I hope y'all are blessed, man. Don't forget tomorrow, man, we got service here in Atlanta. B.O.O.M Atlanta. It has service here at 11 a.m. We are 7581 Tar Boulevard next to Rimtown. That's what we have services at tomorrow at 11 a.m. I'm going to be teaching on Deuteronomy chapter number 28 on tomorrow, giving a thorough understanding of that. Also, if you're in the Jacksonville, Florida area, we will be down there. B.O.O.M. Jacksonville will be serving the homeless brothers. They'll be feeding the streets right behind the library. If you need the information, you're in Jacksonville, Florida, hit me up. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtubechannel.com, youtube.com/It's Majors #1. And don't forget also too, man, James 101 is next weekend, next Friday and Saturday. If you are in Jacksonville, Florida, or plan on coming to Jacksonville, Florida, you want to be baptized, we're baptizing at 11 a.m. at Jacksonville Beach next Friday. And so it's going to be awesome and phenomenal. The conference is going to be off the chain. It's going to be crazy. All right. But if you're in Atlanta, don't forget, man, tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will be on Love 860 AM live. If you're in Atlanta, you can turn it on the Love 860 AM station. If you're outside of Atlanta, you can also go into your Google Play Store or your Apple Play Store or whatever, and download the Love 860 app, or you can go and Google Love 860 AM Atlanta and go and listen to the show from the website itself, okay? And so I'll be posting a link on the page to listen to the website itself on tomorrow. But we got a phenomenal service on tomorrow. We're going to be having service from 11 to 12. We cut our service short, and we're going to be going out to pray for people on the block as well tomorrow. So we got a busy day and a lot of stuff going on. So, man, if you want to be a part of what's going on here in Atlanta or in Jacksonville, Florida, you can definitely hit me up with information, and we'll get at you. All right, boom. I believe it's a one Messiah. Let's get it. All right, love all y'all with the love of HaMashiach, and shalom to you all.